Hi, my name's Becky Clark, and now I'm going to tell you my story. I grew up dirt poor, one of 5 children, never had many friends. So when a new boy come into town, I was 15, and he showed me attention, and it went totally to my head. When he pressured me for sex, I gave in and became pregnant, and he was pushed into marrying me, which he was not happy about. So by the time I was 17, I had 2 small children and was enduring physical, mental, and sexual abuse on a regular basis. Then by the time I was 20, he decided to move on and just kind of throw me aside. So I was 20 years old, a single mom with 2 babies, trying to figure out how to make it in the world. At 22, I met my second husband, and he was everything my first husband was not. He treated me, bought me anything money could buy, and I pretty well became his shadow. Not because he made me or anything like that, it's just like I wrapped my life around him. He sent me back to school, sent me to cosmetology school, got my degree, and like I said, I pretty well wrapped my life around him. I worshiped him. And then our oldest son decided to join the Marine Corps. And when he was sent, while he was overseas, his wife decided she didn't want to be a wife anymore or a mother. And he was sent back stateside so he could take care of his children. So he came home, and I kept telling everybody he didn't act right. Something wasn't right. In February of '99, after lots of trips to the emergency room, he was hospitalized. Well, after over 1,000 tests, they found cancer of unknown origin. The doctors at that time told us that he had 6 weeks to live without treatment, maybe 6 months if he took the treatments. So he opted for the treatments. Hardest thing I ever did in my life was watching his pain. Bo was always smiling and happy and telling me everything's okay. People would ask him how he was, and he'd say, "I'm fine, how are you?" And, never negative. So I talked to his doctor, and I said, "Does Bo know he's dying?" And his doctor said, "Yes, Becky, he knows. And he's ready. His only concern is what he's going to do to you and his children." I could not believe he was that strong. But he was. After Bo's chemo and everything, he started to have some good days and was doing a little better. April of '99, he got to come home and was home for a while and was driving and on a lot of pain medication. But he actually had some good days, and I had some times that I can remember that he wasn't in pain. In May, my daughter, who was pregnant, gave birth to her second child stillborn. When that baby was stillborn, I became so angry with our Lord. But through a lot of prayer, I finally realized that, God was with me. I was not being punished, and that things would be okay. That He was going to take care of us. I knew He was right beside me the whole way. In March of 2000, my sons had started getting bad again, and there was nothing else could be done. So the final prayer I had for him was that if he could not get better, if it was not in God's will for him to get well, that He would take him on home and take him out of his pain. Later that evening, he died. The hardest prayer I ever prayed in my life. But 3 days after I buried our son, that husband that I worshiped for 23 years left me for my son's ex-wife. I was totally devastated. I had insomnia, I couldn't sleep. There was weeks went by that my eyes never closed. I threw myself into prayer, but all the holding everything inside through anxiety and depression, I ended up having a mild heart attack. I was in Centennial Hospital where they did what they call balloon surgery and that kind of thing. And really, at the time, I could have cared less. I didn't care about nothing. So then when I came back, my son that was still living and his wife were trying to help me get my life back in order. Then after I recuperated finally, I decided it was time I needed to move on. So I started trying to get out more, and a dear friend of mine talked me into going to her church with her, which is Memorial, and I went, and I did enjoy it and started going there for a while. Led a youth group and started a singles Christian group there, and started getting out and line dancing and enjoying my life some. And then I met a guy. We were only married I believe maybe 6 months when DCS showed up at my back door with my granddaughter in tow and told us that her stepdad had been making methamphetamines, and so they were taking her out of the home and wanted to know if I would keep her. And of course, she's my granddaughter. I said yes. After I get my third husband and I were together maybe 3 years before I just couldn't deal with the no working, and I asked him to leave. After my granddaughter went back, her mom got straightened up and away from her husband, and she got her back, but DCS kept coming to my door, and I just couldn't say no. So I adopted 7 children altogether. And then 3 years ago now, that same little girl they showed up at the back door with, at 20, was diagnosed with a very rare form of breast cancer. So at 20 years old, she ended up, I had to watch her go through the chemo and everything. Plus she had a double mastectomy. And she was amazing at chemo. The nurses and everything would say, I can't believe her, because she would sit there smiling and cutting jokes, his bald head shining. She came to church here with me. She never would wear a wig or nothing. She said, this is the way God wants me to look. If other people have a problem, that's their problem. But the day after she got her diagnosis, my daughter was diagnosed with leukemia, a rare type, 2 forms of leukemia, and it is something, now she will have to battle that the rest of her life. There's no cure, it's just a continual thing. And of course she battles every day with it, and some days are good, some days are bad. But now my granddaughter is cancer-free right now. She never has anything negative to say about it. I don't know, she just give it all to God and went right on. And I pray every day that nothing comes back. And if you're watching this, please pray for her. And please pray for my daughter, because it's a constant battle. There have been times in my life that I have argued with God and could not understand why I have to go through the things I have. I have been diagnosed now. I have MS and spinal stenosis, but God always manages to see me through it, and I manage every day. As I said, I've been keeping children for 15 years, and over that time, I've had 92 children in and out of my home, and every one of them's been a blessing. Some when they came, some when they went, but all a blessing. But my life is very blessed now. God is with me all the time, and I'm thankful for the battles because I know He was there carrying me through them, and He's still with me every day. And I'm doing what God has sent me to do, I believe. I have been the president of the foster adoptive parents now for several years, and love doing that, love helping the other parents to deal with children and help do things with them. I love being at Meals and More and working with people that need my help. I feel like I'm doing what God wants me to do now, and for that I am so thankful. And I'm thankful that Cumberland Fellowship has allowed me to be a help and do things that I do here. And that's my story.